The Oklahoma City bombing, America's deadliest domestic terror attack. It was a crisp spring morning in Oklahoma City, April 19, 1995. The clock ticked toward 9 a.m., and the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building buzzed with the quiet hum of everyday life. Federal employees shuffled papers, daycare children giggled downstairs, and visitors filtered through the lobby. No one could have imagined that in mere seconds, this 9-story symbol of government stability would become the epicenter of America's deadliest act of domestic terrorism. At 9:02 a.m., a deafening explosion ripped through the heart of the city. A yellow Ryder rental truck parked innocently on the street outside had detonated with the force of 5,000 pounds of homemade explosives. The blast was so powerful it shattered windows blocks away, sent cars tumbling, and left a 30-foot-wide crater in the earth. The Murrah Building's north face collapsed like a house of cards, exposing a mangled skeleton of steel and concrete. In an instant, 168 lives were extinguished. Men, women, and 19 children, including babies in the second-floor daycare. More than 680 others were injured, their bodies and lives forever scarred by the blast. The man behind this carnage was Timothy McVeigh, a 26-year-old Army veteran turned domestic terrorist. McVeigh wasn't a shadowy foreign operative or a member of an organized extremist cell. He was an American, a quiet, unassuming drifter from rural New York who'd grown to despise the U.S. government. His radicalization began years earlier, fueled by a toxic mix of anti-government sentiment, militia culture, and outrage over two specific federal actions: the Ruby Ridge standoff in Idaho in 1992 and the Waco siege in Texas in 1993. To McVeigh, these events were proof of a tyrannical government overstepping its bounds, and he decided to strike back. His weapon of choice wasn't a gun or a plane, it was a bomb crafted with chilling precision. McVeigh spent months planning, drawing inspiration from the Turner Diaries, a 1978 novel popular among extremists that depicted a violent uprising against the government, including a truck bombing. He acquired ammonium nitrate fertilizer, nitromethane racing fuel, and other materials, assembling the bomb in a remote Kansas storage unit. On April 17th, he rented the Ryder truck in Junction City, Kansas, under an alias. 2 days later, he drove it to Oklahoma City, parked it outside the Murrah Building, a target he chose for its federal offices and its glass-fronted vulnerability, and lit the fuse. As the dust settled that morning, the scale of the devastation stunned the nation. Rescue workers clawed through rubble, their hands bleeding as they searched for survivors. A photograph of firefighter Chris Fields cradling the lifeless body of 1-year-old Bailey Alman became an indelible image of the tragedy, searing itself into America's collective memory. Stories emerged of heroism and heartbreak. A woman trapped under debris for hours, whispering prayers until she was freed. A mother who lost her 2 young sons in the daycare, her screams echoing through the chaos. Within 90 minutes of the blast, McVeigh's plan began to unravel. Driving north on Interstate 35 in a beat-up Mercury Marquis, he was pulled over by an Oklahoma Highway Patrol trooper for a missing license plate, just 60 miles from the crime scene. The trooper noticed a bulge under McVeigh's jacket. It was a loaded Glock pistol. Arrested on minor charges, McVeigh sat in a small-town jail cell as the FBI launched a nationwide manhunt, unaware they'd already caught their man. The investigation moved at breakneck speed. Debris from the blast yielded a critical clue. The rear axle of the Ryder truck, flung 200 yards away with a VIN number intact. That number led agents to the rental agency in Kansas, where employees remembered McVeigh and his awkward demeanor. Sketches of John Doe No. 1 flooded TV screens, and within days, authorities linked him to the bombing. On April 21st, as McVeigh awaited a bail hearing for the traffic stop, federal agents swooped in. The small-town jail became the unlikely stage for capturing America's most wanted man. McVeigh's trial revealed a cold, unrepentant killer. He called the 19 dead children collateral damage, a phrase that chilled the courtroom. Prosecutors painted a picture of a meticulous plot, aided in part by Terry Nichols, an old Army buddy who helped acquire materials but didn't join the final act. Nichols would later receive a life sentence, while McVeigh faced the ultimate penalty. On June 11, 2001, after a lethal injection at a federal prison in Indiana, McVeigh's life ended, 6 years after he'd ended so many others. The Oklahoma City bombing left a wound that time has only partially healed. The site of the Murrah Building is now the Oklahoma City National Memorial, a hauntingly beautiful tribute with 168 empty chairs, one for each victim, arrayed in rows beneath a reflecting pool. The survivor tree, an American elm that miraculously withstood the blast, stands as a symbol of resilience, its branches reaching skyward despite its scarred trunk. This wasn't an attack by a foreign enemy, but by one of America's own. A stark reminder that hate can fester anywhere, even in the heartland. It shattered the illusion of invulnerability that many Americans held in the pre-9/11 era, forcing a reckoning with domestic extremism. The bombing spurred changes in security, from reinforced federal buildings to tighter regulations on explosive materials. Yet its deepest legacy is the human one. The families who still grieve, the survivors who carry invisible scars, and a nation that learned, in the most brutal way, the cost of division.